Well, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. We're going to get started here in just a second. Just getting going here. I want to thank y'all for joining us again. It's Friday. Let's see what happened over here on this machine. It's Friday, and what is going on here? And we got a pretty good one for you today. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy this. We got a few things to talk about real quick, though. Don't forget, leave those stars over at Facebook. Leave the badges on Instagram. Leave some stars over there on YouTube. Check it all out. We have a great show for you today. Today, we're going to be talking about why do the same people always get the bite. But before we get started here, we got to run over the contest. Baja Jerky is giving away a case of Baja Jerky to one person on Instagram, to one person on Facebook, to one person on YouTube, and to one person on TikTok. And you're going to be able to win that simply by leaving a comment on TikTok, leaving a comment on Instagram, leaving a comment on YouTube, and leaving a comment over at Facebook. All right? Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And if you leave a comment, that'll get you into the contest. And then at the end of the month, we're going to give away a case of Baja Jerky on each platform. That's pretty cool. Then don't forget, over at the website, yoursaltwaterguide.com, every single time you refer a friend. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the internet to work on this other platform, and it's just messing me up, and I apologize. It's normally not like this, but this is third world problems. If you refer a friend at yoursaltwaterguide.com, you're going to be entered into. Every time you refer a friend, you get a month free, and then whoever refers the most friends is going to win a lifetime membership to the website. All right, so I think we covered everything. Baja Jerky, Promar Ahi USA, Okuma, and Opsin Fluorocarbon want to thank each and every one of you for watching our show every day, day in and day out. They are shocked by the amount of traffic and the amount of views that we get on the show every day, and I can't do it, and it wouldn't happen without all of you. So thank you. Myself and Kelly and all our sponsors, thank each and every one of you. We mean it from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. So today, we're going to be talking about why does the same person on your private boat, on your boat, when you go on a sport boat, why does that one person always seem to catch all the fish? And this is going to go into what we talked about a lot about yesterday. And why that same person gets bit every time. Why that same person is always catching the fish. It's because they're prepared and they've practiced their casting until they've got it. And they're flawless on their casting ability. And they're able to place their bait on that fish's nose or on that boiler rock or on that stringer of kelp. Or when they're sea bass fishing, they're able to lay that live squid right on the edge of the hard bottom or the stringers of kelp or the boiler rocks or whatever it may be. But also something that a lot of you don't understand, it's about bait selection. Gang, bait selection, when you're fishing live bait, like in Southern California, we have a live bait fishery here. We have a live bait fishery. It's a big deal. Now, I know on the East Coast and in Baja and stuff like that, there's a live bait fishery, but not like it is on the West Coast. On the West Coast, gang, we have we have giant boats, like the Deadliest Catch boats, that go out fishing for bait every night and fill up these giant receivers inside of all of our harbors with this live bait, either sardines or anchovies or squid. And then we can simply pull up to the bait barge and purchase this bait and then go out and go fishing with the bait that we just purchased from these guys. That's a pretty cool deal. But you don't have that on the East Coast, in Cabo and Baja and mainland Mexico. You have to go out and catch your bait, or there's a few pongas and stuff that go out and fish bait for you, but it's not like pulling up to a bait barge and buying thousands and thousands of live baits at a single stop. It's pretty amazing. That's why we have these very large bait tanks on these boats that travel up and down the coast over here on the West Coast, Southern California. So that being said, it's imperative to know a good bait from a bad bait. And you'll see a lot of people spend a lot of time at the bait tank when you go out on a sport boat. When you get on that sport boat, a lot of people are going to spend a lot of time at the bait tank picking out a really good bait. And it's going to matter a lot because you've seen these people. When their bait hits the water, they are bit instantly. Why? Why is that? Why can't I do that? Why doesn't it happen to me? I hear you ask yourselves that all the time when you're out fishing with me when I used to run the big party boats, the big sport boats. Why does that guy get bit every time? And I'm doing exactly what he's doing. Well, you're not picking the right bait. Or when you do get your bait, you squeeze the living bejesus out of it, and his eyeballs are popping out of his head, and then you pin it on, you throw it out there. No, the fish. Now, I know your sister's brother's aunt's cousin caught a fish that way once, but God, we're talking about the guy that gets bit every single time because he goes to the bait. And I don't care if you're on a private boat or if you're on a open party boat, you're on a charter boat, you're on your own boat. It's all about picking that bait, looking at the bait in the bait tank or in your bait scoop and looking for that bait that's the hardest one to catch. The most lime green colored sardine or the most lime green colored anchovy or the squid, the live squid that looks pissed. He's all red and he's fired up and he's pissed off. Those are the baits that are going to get bit first because these fish that we're fishing for, these tuna, the yellowtail, the bonita, the barracuda, the bass, the bigger fish focus on the most healthiest bait. They want the bait that is going to give them the most protein and make them feel the best. I'm just being honest. They know that one that you were able to go over to the bait tank and grab that's blue with the red nose and missing one eye. They know that's not the bait they want to eat. And they'll know that as the thing's flying through the air, hooked to the end of your line. It's weird. They can follow them when they're in the water, they follow your cast. And when your bait hits the water, they eat it. That's why the same people get bit all the time on your boat or on your friend's boat or on a party boat or on a head boat. It's because they're spending the time getting the right bait, or if they're using cut bait, they're using the right piece of cut bait. They're stripping it just the right way, or they're grabbing the piece that looks the very most fresh, and they're using that. And now when you're fishing lures, why do I not get bit? And Dave gets bit every time he throws his lure out, and I don't get bit. Well, first of all, Dave's probably phenomenal at casting. He's probably epic at placing that lure or that piece of plastic or that hookup bait right where it needs to be, right where those fish are, right where the boils are, right where the fish are breaking the water, right where the foamer is. And then you have a box that you can't even pick up full of lures, but you don't know how to cast. The same people are catching fish every single time because they've done their due diligence. They've spent their time learning what's the best bait. They've spent their time learning how to cast. Casting is crucial. I don't care, East Coast guys, and you're using spinning rods and reels. If you still can't place that bait in the proper spot, and how do you do that? Follow through. When you're casting your spinning rod or you're casting your conventional rod, it's the follow through. It's whatever way that tip of the rod is pointed. When you're done casting, that's which way your bait or your lure is going to go. All this is all given to you on my website at yoursaltwaterguide.com. Every time I talk about a different subject, believe me, over at my website at yoursaltwaterguide.com, I have a whole plethora or series, if you will, of videos about how the proper way to cast. What's the proper way to pick your bait? What's the proper way to tie on your fluorocarbon? What's the proper hook to use? But all this stuff matters, like we talked about yesterday. Everything matters, and pay attention and be prepared. Well, that's why the same people catch fish every time they go. And your buddy or your friend, they are always going to be the one catching the fish. And then the other people, like we say in the sport boat industry, 90% of the fish are caught by 10% of the passengers. It's just the way it has been since the beginning of time. And it's that 10%. And I'm not talking about tourists. I'm talking about those of you that have your own custom rods and your own custom reels and your own custom tackle box, but you haven't done the prep work. You haven't spent the time casting at the harbor, or casting off the pier, or casting in your backyard, spent the hours picking backlashes out and crying and pissed. And when I was a kid, I spent hours and hours and hours in my backyard as a kid learning how to cast that little clothespin so I could cast an anchovy, because that's what we had on the West Coast to fish with when I was a kid. And my reel would be backlashed up. We didn't have spinning reels on the West Coast. Nobody had spinning reels when I grew up. You didn't use a spinning reel, you use a conventional reel. If you watch any of the West Coast fishing shows, we're all using conventional reels. That's what we use out here on the West Coast. Doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just the way we do it. And you guys on the East Coast, you're proficient with those spinning rods and reels, and you know how to use them, and it doesn't make it the right way or the wrong way. It's just the way you do it. We on the West Coast, though, we learn how to cast a conventional, and you have to spend time practicing. I've had so many of my clients say, Dave, teach me how to cast that like you do. Well, let's set the clock. Let you do it now for the next 50 years, every single day. And then I'll jump with you when you're 60, and then we'll figure it out. And then I'll show you the little tricks that I do. But first of all, you got to spend the time. You have to spend the time learning how to cast that thing. You have to go out in your backyard or down at your park. A park's a great place, or a pier is another great place. It's going to suck. A lot of people, I tell you, because they get embarrassed very easy, practice at the park where there's no people. Practice on a break wall where there's no people. Practice somewhere where you can practice casting. And I don't care if it's a spinning rod or a conventional rod. Throw a hula hoop out in the ocean or in a lake or in a pool, and then practice casting and putting that lure or that clothespin or that hook in the middle of that hula hoop every time. When you can figure out how you can cast into that center of that hula hoop every time, you'll have this, you'll move up to the next level, and you'll start to become the person that catches fish every time they go. A lot of it has to do with bait selection. A lot of it has to do with lure selection. But the number one thing is castability. If you cannot cast accurately every time, then you can't expect to be that person that catches the fish every time they go. And that casting thing is super hard to learn. And your friend or your sister or your brother or your cousin can't teach you it. You have to do it until you have it figured out. Just like filleting fish. People used to ask me all the time, hey, can you teach me how to fillet? No, I can't. I want to. I wish I could, but I can't. No one taught me. I had to go do it day in and day out. I started doing it in the early mid 70s when I was just a little pinhead on the boat. And they used to let us fillet the mackerel and the tomcod at the end of the day so we could learn how to do it. And we would cry and we would cut through the backbone and we'd cut through the skin, and we did it day in and day out until we learned how to do it. Now that we have quite a few people over on TikTok watching, this is a news flash for everyone on TikTok. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, you don't do this. But over on TikTok, the amount of negativity over on TikTok is mind-boggling to me. So new rule on my TikTok channel with the millions of people that view, and I'm not kidding you, all negative comments are deleted immediately. Kelly and I delete them immediately. We don't answer them. We don't talk to you. We have no time for negativity. Over on the other 3 social media platforms, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, it's all positive. There's so much positive people over there. I don't know what happened over at TikTok. I don't know why you all think you got to be so damn negative. It's pretty crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Yeah, F you too, crybaby. Yep, there they are. They're all jumping up. They're all jumping up. All the negative crybabies over there. There's a lot of positive people on TikTok too, and I always answer you, and I'm very kind to you. But I'm not done. I'm just done. Life's too bitchin'. We ain't got time to spend it on you negative people. So you go be negative to somebody that enjoys it. I can't deal with it. So the same people are catching fish every time because they are spending the time learning the craft of fishing and absolutely spending the time going to websites like Your Saltwater Guide or whatever you want to go and learn how to do it on. Someone has to teach you. If you want to just go peel through millions of YouTube videos and try to pick out the good stuff on there, you can, or you can just take all that, throw it in the trash, and go straight to a website that's going to teach you how to be successful every time you go fishing on your time, when you spend that time. And that would be yoursaltwaterguide.com with over 400 how-to videos to be successful when you go fishing. I don't care if you go fishing in Florida, Texas, you go freshwater fishing, trout fishing, or if you just go fishing in Southern California in the ocean. I got you covered. I will explain to you and teach you how you can be dead nuts right on every single time on the fish, learning why you caught them that day and why you didn't catch them. I will always be here for you. I will constantly be making these videos because we have millions of views a week. That's why we keep doing it. Another thing I'd like to tell you is if you don't like them, if you don't like the videos, it's pretty simple. And I don't know where this disconnection came from a long time ago, but man, when I was a kid, if I didn't like a show, I changed the channel. I don't know why you have to come on here and tell me you don't like what I'm doing. Don't watch. It's pretty simple, ladies and gentlemen. Life is so easy if you let it be easy. Don't watch if you don't like it. But there's enough people that are watching that I'm not going to stop. So I want to thank you all once again for watching me every day. Kelly and I appreciate it. All our sponsors appreciate it. And we'll keep doing what we do. You guys keep watching and keep enjoying and stay positive. Stay out of the negative. There's plenty of negative people out there. You don't need to be one. There's no advantage to being negative. There really isn't. And I try to be as positive as I can always. So thank you all again. Do yourselves a favor. Turn off the news. Maybe that would help you to not be so negative. All right. Thank you. And I will see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Be kind to each other. And Kelly and I are going to the pool. So you guys have a great day. Bye.